Well, I tell you what, and this is no knock on them over there. I believe it's going to be a little bit easier this time. For the simple fact he already got his number. It's hard to get away from when somebody already done beat your ass.
Firstly, Jamie, obviously, just a couple of, you might, just going to say 30 seconds about Ricky Hatton.
No, there's no 30
Chris, 1 second.
You know the drill.
Chris.
You know the drill. I'm not going to say
You are some arsehole, you are.
anything you say.
Okay, then don't
I'm
listen
an
to
arsehole, I'm a bad guy.
No.
I'm in this.
All I was going to do was say a few words about Ricky Hatton.
Okay, words.
Okay, I won't say anything about.
Move on with the press conference.
You're an arsehole. You talk shit.
You know, honestly, this guy has zero respect for anything, and I hope people can see through it. Some will, some won't. But if you can't see them, I mean, that's a lot of what happened up there was just wrong. So listen, we go to work and we're in to win the fight. It's going to be different this time.
Chris Eubank Jr.'s trainer checks Conor Benn new press conference with pure confidence. Bomac isn't just talking, he's reminding everyone that mental scars don't fade overnight. Eubank already holds the edge, the psychological grip. Ben can talk all he wants, but deep down he knows who's boss in that ring.
They said I'm too old, coach. They said I don't want it anymore. They said I'm washed up.
Hey, they gonna find out.
Bomac, the same mastermind who guided Terrence Crawford to pound-for-pound supremacy, now speaks with that same conviction about Chris Eubank Jr. When a trainer of his caliber says world champion, it carries substance. Bomac sees greatness in Eubank, and that belief alone sends a message across the boxing world.
Do you see him taking a world title shot? And do you see him being a world champion? I know the stock answer is going to be yeah, but I'm trying to look into your eyes and get a real answer.
You know, I told him the other day, maybe it was yesterday or the day before, I said, man, once you get past this fight and you dominate this fight, they can't deny you fighting for a world title, you know. At 160, I believe he can be a world champion.
At 160?
At 160, I believe he can be a world champion.
Yeah.
But across the ring, Conor Benn's trainer Tony Sims fired back, confident his man is ready to rewrite the story. Tony Sims projects optimism, but it sounds more like wishful thinking than confidence. There's belief, yes, but not the kind that shakes the room. Compared to Bomac's authority, Sims feels unsure, almost rehearsed. You can sense which corner truly believes their man's already one step ahead mentally.
And, so I think he'll get a lot more people wanting to tune into that fight, and obviously we're going to win the next fight. And but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting Conor Benn ready to fight, and it's going to be historic.
Eubank Jr. isn't playing the diplomat. He's exposing what he sees as the truth. That's vintage Eubank, brutally honest and unfiltered. His words carry the confidence of a man who's seen behind the curtain. This isn't trash talk. It's a statement of intent from a fighter who's had enough.
People, they are pretending. They're pretending to be the good guys. Wolves in sheep's clothing, if you will. They will do anything they can. They will screw over anybody they can. They will cut any corners. They will break any rules they can to try and get ahead. Ruthless, immoral, and without restraint.
Even Eddie Hearn knows the stakes. He admits it outright. A loss would be catastrophic for Conor Benn. That's pressure. Eubank doesn't carry. For Benn, it's survival. For Eubank, it's legacy. And when a promoter uses the word disaster, you know the camp's feeling the heat.
What does it do to Conor Benn's career trajectory if he does lose again?
Look, I mean, you never want back-to-back defeats. Obviously, we know the future is at 147. We've got Lewis Crocker here. You know, there's a shot at the world title. But losing is a disaster for Conor. Yeah, I can dress it up to you and say, it's up at middleweight, it doesn't really matter, now we go. But that's not what Conor Benn's about. You see a different Conor Benn in there today, because all he's focused on is the performance and the fight and getting the...
And just when Benn tried to reclaim control, his fiery promise turned the spotlight back on him. Conor Benn's words carry venom, but not conviction. It's the sound of a fighter trying to convince himself more than anyone else. Bold threats mean little against experience and composure. Eubank has already weathered storms bigger than Benn's words, and that's what makes him so dangerous in this rematch.
I will dismantle him. I will ruin him. he gets absolutely destroyed. Destroyed. There's no comeback. There will be no comeback after he fights me. When I beat him, I'll put him into an early retirement. I will put him into retirement.
Johnny Nelson calls Eubank detached, but that's exactly what makes him so lethal. He's not here to please fans or media, he's here to handle business. That cold focus Nelson describes isn't arrogance, it's tunnel vision. Eubank's the kind of fighter who walks into chaos and finds calm. He doesn't play for applause, he performs for dominance. When the bell rings, all the noise fades, and that's when his mindset takes over. Nelson might call his comments far-fetched, but history shows Eubank delivers when doubted. The indifference people misread as ego is the mark of a man who's been through fire and come out colder. That's not attitude, that's evolution.
I think Chris is one of those guys that he hasn't really got time for boxing folk. He steps in, does his business, makes his money, steps out. He doesn't care what carnage is left behind. The things he said and the accusations he laid out, I think are a bit far.
Tony Bellew sees youth as Benn's advantage, but he underestimates Eubank's discipline. Age doesn't slow down a fighter who lives the sport. Eubank's conditioning, lifestyle, and experience make him dangerous at any stage. He's rebuilt before and done it emphatically. The recovery Bellew mentions isn't a setback for Eubank, it's preparation. Every tough fight has only refined him further. Unlike Benn, Eubank doesn't rely on momentum. He relies on method. He studies, adapts, and then dominates. Benn may have youth, but Eubank's maturity gives him control. And control in boxing beats chaos every time.
168, he ain't coming back down to 160. So it's got a very short lifespan, this rematch. It's got to be done. The sooner the better. If I'm being brutally honest, the sooner the rematch happens, in my opinion, it favours Conor Benn, because he's the younger fighter who's took less damage and has had a much lesser career with much less experience. For someone like Eubank Jr, it's going to take a while to turn around, and it's going to take a while to recover, because that was a hard fight for him. He was shook a number of times, he felt the shot. He'd also done the same.
Dave Coldwell, though, had his doubts about whether Eubank could dig that deep again. Coldwell questions Eubank's ability to go back to the well, but fighters like him live there. He's built from resilience, the kind you can't teach. Every career setback has only hardened him. People said he couldn't come back after Liam Smith. He proved them wrong with a masterclass. Eubank isn't defined by one night, he's defined by how he responds after the mental toughness. Coldwell doubts is the very thing that separates Eubank from the rest. Pressure doesn't drain him, it fuels him, and if the rematch turns into a dogfight, that's exactly where Eubank thrived.
And I don't think at this stage Eubank can do a lot more else. You know, he'll try and do what he did, you know, on fight night. It's whether he can go to the well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it's as the pace and ferocity of a first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank can do it.
George Groves paints a vivid picture. Eubank isn't just a fighter, he's a performer. Every move, every stare, every round has purpose. That mirror moment, Groves recalls, shows a man obsessed with control. Even against bigger men, he never folded. That laser focus, that need for perfection defines Eubank's mindset. Groves doesn't describe arrogance, he describes intensity. This is a man who lives the sport 24/7. The switch is always on. That's why he's so dangerous. He's never unprepared. Fighters can talk all they want. Eubank shows up with intent. Groves saw it firsthand. The professionalism, the ritual, the relentlessness. You can't fake that level of dedication.
He's got that crossover appeal. You know, he does. Sometimes I don't know why, but he's a fascinating guy, and I respected him because he was like, we used to bring him in for sparring, and he was smaller than me, middleweight at the time, but he could hold his own. He'll come and he'll swing away, but everything was a performance almost. So you come in, hey Chris, he wouldn't look at you. Right. Be in the mirror doing his Vaseline. You okay? Do you need anything, Chris? Do you want some water? No. Okay. Finish the spar, and if he had a good spar, he might let out a
Ronnie Davies knows Eubank Jr. better than anyone, and when he predicts a stoppage inside 8, it isn't bravado. He's seen the preparation, the focus, the composure behind the curtain. Davies understands what Eubank brings when he's disciplined, sharp timing, relentless pressure, and clinical finishing. The talk about weight means nothing if the execution is perfect, and Davies believes it will be. His faith isn't based on hype, it's built on years of watching Eubank rise through every setback. When a veteran like Davies speaks with that calm certainty, it's not a prediction, it's a warning.
As I don't believe in weight reducing of any form or kind, I don't believe in it. They're fighters, they need that strength, they need the power, they need the sharpness. That all goes if you weight train. No, that is dangerous. But if he can make the weight, he says he can do it. He'll do it better this time than he did last time, and he can do it. And they're getting paid so much money, you can't blame them for risking things and putting.
Adam Smith nails it. This isn't just another rematch. This is British boxing theater at its finest. 2 generations, 2 mentalities, 1 defining night. Yes, Eubank Jr. will be 36, but age in boxing only matters when your discipline fades, and Eubank's commitment to his craft has only sharpened with time. He's evolved from a talented contender into a composed tactician who knows how to manage distance, dictate rhythm, and break opponents systematically. Meanwhile, Benn is 29. Brash, fiery, and desperate to prove he belongs among the elite. That hunger makes him dangerous, but also reckless. Eubank has seen that energy before, and he knows how to dismantle it. Adam Smith understands the entertainment value, but beyond that, there's a legacy war unfolding, the pride of 2 bloodlines, the echo of 2 eras colliding. Fans aren't just watching a fight, they're witnessing a statement. For Eubank, it's about proving time can't tame greatness. For Benn, it's about forcing the world to remember his name.
Chris Eubank will have turned 36. Yes, Conor Benn will be 29, but it's a fight that we have to see again. And I'm very glad that His Excellency, that Ring Magazine, that everybody that needed to get it done have got it done. The guys will be earning huge money, and we will be hugely entertained.
And Tony Jeffries didn't mince words. He believes this fight could end one man's career for good. Tony Jeffries strips away the politeness. He calls it for what it is: dangerous, emotional, and career-defining. For Chris Eubank Jr., this isn't about paydays or headlines. It's about redemption and legacy. The way he approaches this rematch, you can feel the calm fury behind every word. He's been here before, under brighter lights, facing bigger names, and he's come out sharper each time. Jeffries is right. Eubank has a point to prove, but it's more than that. It's about reclaiming respect, silencing every doubter who ever questioned his hunger. Conor Benn, on the other hand, has everything on the line: reputation, pride, and public faith. One wrong step and it all crumbles. Eubank's seen careers end in silence before, and he knows how quickly the sport can turn. That's why he fights with intelligence, not emotion. Benn fights with rage, and that's exactly what could undo him. This isn't just a fight for bragging rights, it's a fight for survival, and only one man knows how to stay composed in that chaos.
This would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to say in the world there, but probably not in America, because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September 20th. Now,
Johnny Nelson questions Eubank's ability to improve, but experience tells a different story. Eubank doesn't evolve through flash adjustments. He refines through repetition. His so-called stiffness is often misunderstood. It's a controlled stillness, the poise of a fighter who calculates before he commits. The man doesn't waste energy bouncing or flailing. He conserves it for when it matters. Against Benn, that composure becomes a weapon. Conor might show technical improvement, sure, faster combinations, tighter defense, but all that fades once fatigue sets in. Eubank has been 12 rounds with killers, under brighter lights, with real pressure on his shoulders. The second fight won't be about who moves better, it'll be about who endures smarter. Nelson's prediction of it going the other way ignores one key truth: Eubank's will is steel, Benn's is emotion, and when emotion meets experience, experience almost always wins.
I do see improvement there for Conor, and I do think the results will be different the other way around in the next fight. I think it'll go the difference all over again.
Barry Jones admits what every analyst quietly agrees on. Even after a brutal first encounter, Eubank Jr. remains the favorite. Why? Because he's built differently. Hard fights don't harm him, they shape him. Every war in that ring becomes part of his armor. The first Benn fight tested his endurance, timing, and resolve, and he passed each with authority. Yes, it'll be another tough night, but Eubank doesn't shy from that. He's not searching for easy fights, he's searching for defining ones. Jones calls it harmful, but Eubank thrives in that pain. It's what separates him from Conor Benn, who's still trying to find balance between aggression and composure. If someone gets caught early, sure, the story changes. But if this drags deep, Eubank's discipline, conditioning, and experience will take over once again. Jones knows it too, he just can't deny what everyone sees. When the going gets brutal, Eubank gets better.
This fight can only harm him. Because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not a freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with the shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night. Which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. I mean, so...
This rematch isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning. Chris Eubank Jr. walks into the ring with experience etched into every movement, every glance. He's not here to talk, he's here to close the chapter once and for all. For Conor Benn, it's more than redemption, it's desperation. He needs this win to restore his reputation, to silence the shadows of doubt that have followed him. But Eubank's calm under fire, his composure, and his proven ring IQ make him a nightmare for emotional fighters. If Eubank wins, he reclaims his place as the elite technician of British boxing. If Benn shocks the world, he rewrites his legacy overnight. 2 names, 1 destiny. Only one walks out with their story intact. Who are you backing? The seasoned General Chris Eubank Jr. or the fiery challenger Conor Benn? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.